Well, the fan artist experience moves on. The artist is Scott Plante, and I don't know why I want to call you Le Plant all the time. I don't know. It's fucking weird, man.
I get that a lot. So
you do. I don't know if it's like okay. The spelling of your last name has an e at the end of it. Is that French?
So it's got the French writing exactly. It's my adopted last name, but my grandfather, who pretty much raised me, it's his last name. So it's my last name.
Okay.
So
okay. So do you have people call you Plante sometimes?
Yes, I have people call me Plante as well. They actually they ask politely, is it Plante? Is it Plant? And then some people will just straight out come out and call me Le Plant.
Oh, Le Plant. Okay, well, I guess I'm not a complete dumbass. I want to welcome you to Real Rock Nights, and I am so jazzed to talk to you, man. You got a new tune, Burner, out right now, and we're gonna get to that. It's doing very, very well. It's a #1 ad last week on the SMR charts. And what time is it? 2:02. Let's see if the new one's out yet. Let me get in my account real quick. When I saw that was #1, I was like, holy crap. No. Oh yeah, the new one did come out. Let's see, where are you at? Let me get in here.
Now you got me anxious.
Let's see. Scott. Oh man, I can't. Oh, okay. It isn't all finished yet. So we'll just have to move on. I'll look later. I was all pumped to see what the numbers were like, but we'll both find out later on. We got so much to talk about. You're from a small New Hampshire town, right?
Yes, I am.
And another small town boy does well.
I mean, if you really want to talk about my life, no. This is more or less of broken home, ex heroin addict, served 4 years in state prison, changed my life around, got sober, been sober for almost 7 years from drugs, 12 years from alcohol, and been on a mission ever since. I've been a musician since I was about 20, or a vocalist since I was about 20. And then I taught myself how to play guitar in prison so I could write my own music. And now everything I write is between me and my producer. And we turn it into these, songs. I mean, the song that we're promoting right now, Burner, was a feature with J.R. Baris, and he plays in Spoken Love and Death with Head from Korn, and he's a fill-in guitarist for the band Korn as well. And we linked up, and we ended up writing together and getting this song together, and it came out awesome. I'm pumped about it, and I got another one that we're recording a video for on the 17th, and then we're gonna do this cycle all over again. So I'm gonna. I've learned from my mistakes of, music releasing throughout the years and what to do and not to do. And, you got to have a game plan. You got to have something set in motion. You have to have some kind of marketing. You can't just have a song and just throw it out to your Facebook friends and hope it does well. It just doesn't work that way.
No, let's go back. We will talk about Burner more here too, because I want everyone to hear about it, but also I want to know about those early years. Now, let's go back. Let's say I love to do this with artists. It gets so deep, man. Let's go back to 10 or so. What kind of kid were you? What was in your head when you were 10?
Well, I mean, 10's kind of a gray area for me. I don't have a whole lot of memory from that kind of time period. I mean, my parents split when I was 8. I mean, my mother kind of packed up me and us kids and moved us into my grandparents' old house in
Okay.
another town, a little bit nicer of a town. We did live in a trailer park for the earlier years of our lives, and you know, obviously as kids, you kind of get into trouble, things like that. But my mother had to work a lot, to keep the food on the plate. So my mother wasn't around much, so I was kind of free to kind of do what I wanted, and I tended to gravitate towards people who got in trouble, and so I started dabbling in drugs and alcohol really early. I mean, I was drinking and smoking pot by the time I was 10 years old. So,
Damn, dude.
and that escalated into cocaine by the time I was 14, and then pills.
14 years old. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, 15 years old. I was doing, Percocets, and then it moved on to oxys, and then it moved on to heroin, and basically anything I could get my hands on. I mean, I'm a kind of 100-mile-an-hour kind of guy, and unfortunately, I took the wrong road 100 miles an hour, and I've had to travel back all the way back that road that I traveled down 100 miles an hour for a long time. But yeah, man, there's definitely a lot of stories I could tell you if you got the time and you want to listen. I mean, just like I said,
absolutely. Well, we're here to learn about you. I
so
want to get down to brass tacks. Who is Scott Plant? And so,
it's a funny question. I'm a very spiritual person, and I ask myself who Scott Plant is too, because
okay.
I think the person in the background, the consciousness that I've managed to acquire over the years to help me create a new human being, kind of disidentifies with an identity. I mean, sounds a little crazy, but it is what it is. So I think Scott Plant is a lot of things. Scott Plant has been in a lot of different situations throughout my life, and a lot of experiences around so many different types of people, and molded in with so many different types of people and classes and things that really Scott Plant can really be anything, which why I started off as a multi-genre recording artist.
Okay.
Because when I got out of prison after being in for 4 years, I decided that my gift of being able to not only connect emotionally with human beings, but to be able to write music, is a gift that was given to me by the universe or God or whatever you want to call it. And it should be used in a helpful manner. So I wrote a lot of songs that weren't, to my core, I'm a rock person. Hard rock and metal it's saved my life throughout my life. I mean, I suffer from manic depression. I mean, not so much anymore because I've done a lot of, things throughout my life. I exercise daily. I try to eat the best that I can.
Okay.
I do ice baths every day. I mean, I'm very focused on keeping my mind and my body and everything at peace and sound as I can in this crazy ass world. I mean, it's not always easy, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, so I take the time to do those things to make sure that I have that type of foundation in who I am now as to opposed to who I was before, because who I was before was a product of environments. I mean, I grew up in very dysfunctional things. I mean, I was smoking crack with, relatives when I was, 17 years old. So it's like that
With
was
relatives?
yeah. I mean,
Really?
I was drinking with relatives when I was 14 years old. I mean, I grew up around that lifestyle, and
Okay.
that ended up kind of molding the person that I had become at that time, and because I'm such a, balls to the walls kind of guy, I took that type of those ideologies and those thought processes and that character, and I took it way further than
Okay.
anybody else did, which is why I wound up, serving time in prison. So, the I could tell you, like, miserable horror stories all day long about the earlier years of my life, in my 20s. And but the things that I love the most about being able to talk about my life is I get to talk about the backside of it. So, here's a little bit of the backside of it. So
Okay.
when I first got out, I met my parole officer for the first time. My parole officer, the very first day I met him, he said, "You're a junkie." He says, "It's just a matter of time before you start using it again." And he's like, "I'm going to lock you back up in prison." That's what he told me. Well, 2 years after that, 2.5 years early, I petitioned the court to release me from parole so I could travel for music and be free of the prison system. And at first they denied me. And then throughout all this time, I had traveled around New England, performing concerts, doing motivational speeches, and raising money for charities and nonprofits across the state. I've made it into the newspapers and the news and things like that. And I got a stack of recommendations from all of these organizations, recovery centers, things like that. And not only did I show up to court to petition to say, "Hey, I would like to be released from parole 2.5 years early," which doesn't happen. But also that same parole officer who told me that he was going to basically bury me in the prison showed up at my court hearing to speak on my behalf, and they released me 2.5 years early.
To speak on your behalf after he had that attitude where he was going to bury you in the system?
Yeah,
wow.
Over time, he had nothing. I kept proving him wrong.
I was just going to bring that up. You proved yourself. You proved yourself. Exactly. You had all those backers from all those different places you went and things you did. And so you changed his mind. And how many, you're not only changing the minds of people, you're changing your life, Scott.
I mean, the person that's sitting here talking to you right now doesn't know that old me. I mean, it still rears its head sometimes. Like, it's still subconsciously there. I still have to deal with that darkness, but every human being has to deal with that. They have to understand that life is not all light, that the light and the dark are one thing. And it's dependent on how you focus your energy, how you focus your mind, and what actions you consciously choose to have. Some people use grace, some people use God, some people use meditation. I've been a big person on kind of using it all. Any tool that I could find to help better myself, to be a better human being, I did. And I did those things so repetitively that it actually scientifically changed who I was. It created new neurological pathways inside of my brain, which allowed me to become a completely brand new human being. So that's why the people that are in shock the most of who I've become are the people that have known me for a really long time.
Okay.
I think they have a hard time wrapping their head around the fact that the person that they're talking to is actually the same person that they knew, a decade ago. But here I am, and I'm proud of that. I'm proud of that because I've gone through hell to get there too. Because I dealt with some pretty violent post-traumatic stress. So when I went into the prison system, I wasn't 100% ready to get sober. And inside of those types of environments, there's still ways of getting drugs into environments like that. I continued to use. And at one point, I had robbed the most violent prison gang in the prison of drugs. Yeah, not a smart move. Well, needless to say, I spent like years of my life just constantly looking over my back, just paranoid 24/7, afraid somebody's going to kill me. And, you know, it, you know, altercations came and went. But here's another cool thing that I get to talk about that is so amazing is that I made my way through the system after all of that bullshit. But I was still not doing the right thing. And I overdosed in the halfway house bathroom 10 days prior to getting released from prison onto parole.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so they sent me back. But this time they made me do a drug program. It was a 6-month drug program that I actually ended up completing in 5 months. But so this program took people throughout the prison who had been drug tested and found that there was drugs in their system, and gave them the opportunity to either go into closed custody unit, which is a very, very unstable, very violent environment, or you can go into this, and it's nothing fancy. You don't get a regular bed. You still eat disgusting shit food. There's nothing glamorous about it, but there's a staff there that actually gives a shit about you. They actually want to try to help you change. And in a prison system, that's a very rare thing to find, because most of the time they don't want you to change. They want you to reoffend. They want you to go back because it's a money-making system, but that's a whole nother conversation. So I went back, I went on to this unit, and, because of my reputation at that time, things were very on edge for me. Now, this was the type of environment where people really didn't want to get in trouble because they were trying to get through this program and trying to get things done. And, I had sang in prison, throughout prison, but it kind of caused drama in my life constantly, like people screaming at you, telling you to shut the fuck up. And, I don't know if I'm supposed to swear on your radio show.
Yeah, you can. That's fine.
Okay.
It's all good.
Okay, cool. And then, altercations, and, I show up and I'm actually singing Tool sober on the unit with a kid with a guitar. And this really large guy comes out of his cell and starts screaming at me. And I think anybody that knows me knows that I'm not really a, back down kind of guy. I kind of have a big mouth. And so we exchanged words, and it kind of turned into a fist fight inside of a cell, which somehow I managed to get out of that cell with just a big scar on my leg from kicking a toilet. But I'm not here to condone violence by any means, because I don't think that violence is ever the answer. But unfortunately, in there, you get put into situations where you don't really have a choice.
You have nowhere else to go.
But after that, people kind of left me alone, and I continued to sing. And so there was a correctional officer who was running the unit, and he was hearing me sing. And now, mind you, this same exact correctional officer, when I was singing on another unit at another completely different year in prison, he heard me singing. He kicked in my door. He screamed in my face and told me I was no good. Nobody wanted to hear me. Screaming at me, swearing at me. And but this time around, he was in his office hearing me sing, and he started to realize that I actually was pretty good at it. So he actually ended up help orchestrate my first concert in the prison, where I got to perform for the guys. So we did that. And then we moved on to this phase where there was all these like competitions, like they did chess competitions, and I was very, very, and still am very heavy into fitness at that time. I was in really good shape.
Okay.
And so we had set up this fitness competition, and people wanted to win because if you win, you got to sit out of groups for a day. So you basically got a little vacation. And so me, with my reputation, I had nothing to lose. And this was a timed fitness event. So nobody wanted to go first because nobody wanted to set the time. But I didn't care. I didn't care because I had nothing to lose. I mean, what kind of respect did I have to lose? None whatsoever. So I was like, I'll go first. And I went first. And then for an entire day, probably about eight hours worth of time, I watched all these men for this unit go through the fitness competition, and nobody beat my time. Nobody beat my time. Nobody beat my time. And at the very end of that, was a very high-ranking gang member who was also in very, very good shape. And he was a part of the gang that I had robbed. And he went through his fitness timed event, and he came up 2 minutes shy of me. And when he was done, he shook my hand, and we've been friends ever since. And it was just a testament to the fact that you can do things that you're not proud of. You can make mistakes, and you can redeem yourself for those things.
Bring it back and kind of heal it. That's wow. That is an incredible story, man. What now? There was a singing in like prison. You said that music kind of got you through things. Is that what led you to become a musician? I mean, an actual working musician?
Well, yeah. Well, this is how it kind of played out. I mean, I had a lot of like mental health problems throughout my teenage years. I had a dysfunctional environment. And I used to just sing in my room, and it was my therapy. I used to sing along to Korn and Stained and Linkin Park and Disturbed and, all these bands that I still love now, and Breaking Benjamin and things like that, 3 Days Grace. And over time, I didn't sound good when I started. I was horrible. I just was belting out notes. I was just emoting. Just trying to express the emotions. Like, it was so therapeutic to me that I used to blast my stereo speakers, lay on my bedroom floor, and I could fall asleep with the volume at full max. That's how much it relaxed me. That's how much hard rock music relaxes me. It's weird. Usually it amps people it up. It actually calms me down. But over time, just from practicing, and people don't get it. Like, some people think I just can't sing. No, you just haven't practiced enough. If you just keep practicing and practicing and practicing, and you don't quit, you don't give up, you're going to get discouraged sometime. You're going to get that way with anything. So I've tried to break a bunch of Guinness World Records. I'm trying to break another one right now in fitness. And I've failed 5 times already, and I'm ready to go again. I don't have that mindset where I think that failure is a bad thing. I don't see it as a way to quit. I would rather go to the very bitter end till my body cannot take anymore and just say that I didn't have it in me than to say I quit.
Just said you just feel it makes you try harder. Just keep on going.
Yeah, absolutely.
What is that world record? What, if I can ask?
So right now I'm trying to break the world record for chest to ground burpees, which is the record is 900. The record is 965 in an hour. So I'm trying to do 1,000.
Burpees are very tiring.
Yeah, they're exhausting. It's a really hard record to train for. And I actually, I think it was around close to 2 years ago now. I used to do like parkour style stuff, and I would do 360s on a bar, catch the bar. And I did it for like 4 years. I was really good at it. And I was going through some other health issues. I have some white matter lesions on my brain that kind of affect my nervous system. So I was going through some other health issues, and I deal with like a migraine disorder and panic attack disorder and things like just stuff that I don't care to really talk about, because to me it's not a weight on my foot. It's not a weight on my foot. Everybody has a weight on their foot. Everybody in the world has something that they're struggling with. Everybody in the world has something that they have to battle with every single day. And that just happens to be my battle. Okay. My battle is those things, you know? And so I don't let them, I don't look at them as some anchor. You know, if anything, I'm going to try 10 times harder to make sure that I can still achieve that. Even with my music journey, I have been doing this since I was in my early 20s. Nearing my late 30s now. I've been doing this for a long time. Now, I stepped away from it at times. You know, obviously I went to prison for 4 years. So that kind of, you know, put a block on it then. And then I got really heavy back into it. But, you know, when I got out, I actually tried surviving off of music. I went around with my acoustic guitar and I played 2 to 3 shows a week. You know, just barely scraping by. I barely got enough money together to put my first EP together. Like, I had help from fans and things like that to help me get it done, which I was, you know, very grateful for, to have, you know, people backing me that, you know, believed in me and wanted to see me get this done. You know, it's a really beautiful thing.
Believing in someone can do a lot.
It really can. It can do so much to their soul and their mind, and it did a lot for mine at that time. But you know what I didn't know about the music industry is if you don't play the game, the I know this person game, and I'm a very stubborn, and like, I won't play that game. I won't play the, pardon my French here, but dick riding game.
Yeah.
I won't do it. I won't do that. And then I also realized that music actually takes a lot of money. So for years, I tried to create content, create music, see if I could get signed by a small record label. I tried to find any way I could to get somebody to fund my music progress. And then this last year, it really snapped and dawned on me. I had done management in the construction field. I've been roofing and siding my whole life. And I basically took everything I had. I started my own business. I started my own business, and now I'm funding my own music career. And that is the exact reason why I'm sitting here on the radio with you, because this secondary rock radio charts campaign I funded myself. And by this time next year, I am going to buy a tour bus. That is the game plan. And by that time, I'm going to be having a daughter in 2 months, my very first child.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you. And by that time, my daughter will be 1 year old. So me and my fiance will have the opportunity. And from there, it's just hopping on a tour. And then I'm going to go out. I am going to do what I've always wanted to do. And then I might just pack it up. I don't know. I am just going to get there just to say I made it. Just to say I made it. That's good enough for me. And then, maybe I'll get lucky and I'll find, trustworthy people to run my business so my business can, make money and be successful, but I want to still be a very strong part of that, but maybe I'll have to do that from the road. You never know. And I hope that's what it gets to. If I could envision a dream in my mind, it would be to have my family, my fiance and my daughter. I'm actually getting kind of emotional thinking about it. Oof, man. Yeah. Just to have them, on a comfy tour bus and traveling around and meeting people and having my daughter grow up watching me, sing to the world. I think that would be the most beautiful thing in the world.
Well, the cool thing too is, you can express yourself through music so well. And, you saying that who knows, you don't know what'll happen. You don't know, maybe you'll just pack it in. I really don't want to see that, man, because just in talking to you, the little bit I have, and reading the little bit I have of you so far, you're a good person.
I
Down
appreciate
deep, you are a good person, and uh, you can express that so well through your music. And so I don't know. I'm one person, and I know there are like a ton of people out there that they don't want to see you quit. They don't want to
No.
see you
Well,
just
that's the
pack it
thing.
in and move
It's
on to something else.
like I said, like I won't quit until I get there though. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I won't quit until I make it there, until we got the tour bus. And I know that with, the people I've met throughout my journey in music, I know I could get myself on a tour, and I know that I could have that experience. And you know what? If I do that and I find success in it, really good success, and I think I could provide for my family with it, and then I'll see it through all the way to the end. You never know where life's gonna take you. And I've gotten to this point in my life where I kind of just let life take me where it's supposed to take me. And I try not to fight against it too much because it just causes you unnecessary stress. I don't like unnecessary stress. If it's deliberate stress that I put myself into to accomplish a goal, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But unnecessary stress is just unnecessary. It's just all it does is cause you mental and emotional and sometimes spiritual turmoil. And there's I don't believe that there's a reason for that, or maybe in some instances there is a purpose for it, because it helps open your mind and awaken you up to what you're doing and allow you to get yourself to a place of peace and grace where you can kind of, set a goal, get to it, know what needs to be done. Because I can tell you right now that every bit of success that I've ever accomplished has come from working my ass off, and I'll continue to do that. And I don't think you can get it any other way. I think you have to work hard to get there. And I think with the music industry, there's a lot of things that play into it, especially if you're talking about a record label. They want to see something that they can brand. They want to see something that they can sell for a long period of time. And I don't know if I'm that thing, but I know that the new album that I am creating right now. So my last EP was me writing music for other people. So I wrote music for a bunch of battered women that I had met in a recovery center, and it's like a pop song called "The New Beginnings." I've played at countless amount of funerals. I can't even remember how many now, for people who have committed suicide, drug overdoses, cancer. And I've written songs all for them. And so far, all the releases that I've done have been an accumulation of, some of my music, but a lot of the stuff that I've done for other people. But this album is my hard rock metal me. This album is all. I actually sent you the next single. I don't think you got it yet. I sent you the next single that is I'm going to be recording the music video for on the 17th. But again, because I started this business, I'm able to create that music video. I'm able to promote that music video. I got sick and tired of sitting around waiting for some stroke of luck or for someone else to get me there. I learned that if you really truly want something in this life, you got to go and you got to get it yourself, and you got to give it absolutely everything you got. And the most important thing out of anything in the world is you have to believe in it. If you don't believe in it, if you don't wholeheartedly believe in it, then You're taking a risk of it not happening. You're taking a risk because at that point you're going off of hope. And hope doesn't always work, because hope is it's like a asking. It's like, can I have this? Okay. A belief is a solidified thing. It is saying, I know that this is going to happen. And when I changed my mind over from asking to believing, things in my life started changing dramatically. I went from, I don't know if I ended up getting to that part of the story, but I fell off the bar doing my gymnastics, and I fractured and dislocated my arm. My arm got jacked out and went the other direction.
Okay.
And the first surgeon that they sent me to was a real piece of work, and he dicked me around for about a year. So I had a junk arm for a year. I finally had the surgery, and now here we are a year later, and I'm just now getting very, very heavy back into my, fitness routine. So it's been an up and down road. I mean, for me, it's been dealing with a lot of health issues, but then finding ways to get myself better from them. And then, just dealing with obstacles as they come, just like everybody else, you know what I mean? And I think that's why people relate with me, because I'm not somebody who just got handed something. I'm not somebody who just, just fell into something or just had some weird stroke of luck. I mean, I've been through the shit. I've been through the mud. Like I've seen the worst of humanity. And trust me when I say that, I've seen the worst of it. Okay. I've surrounded myself with people that, okay, you have good people who do bad things, who deserve forgiveness, who deserve a second chance. And then you also have people who you meet who are genuinely to the core of their soul. Yeah, they're just not good people. And, I happen to surround myself with some of those people throughout my life. And it, obviously didn't work out that well for me.
Yeah,
I mean,
went south for you. What
yeah,
you keep on bringing up the whole health and working out, and do you attribute that to changing your health goals? Do you attribute that to maybe this change in your mind, in your brain? Did it give you more of the positive chemical aspect rather than the negative?
Yep. Oh, 100%. That, along with a lot of other things. I've done a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy. I've done a lot of meditation. I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of reading. But yeah, fitness helped me create a healthy habit and put it in the place of a bad habit. So it helped me recondition my brain to a healthy habit. And I've done that with several other things, which has allowed me to literally reprogram the whole computer and become a completely different person. Or actually, sometimes I don't like to say completely different person. Sometimes I like to say I actually found myself. I feel like I found the real me, the me that I
This is the version that should have been there all along.
Exactly. This is the version that should have existed. And I had to dig, through a pile of shit to get to it, but I found it. And I'll tell you this right now, with where I'm at right now in my life, with everything, with my daughter coming, if I had to go through all that suffering all over again, I would do it. It's worth it to me. It is. Because right now I'm super grateful where I'm at. I might not be some huge rock star that the whole world knows, but I'm okay with that. Because
operative word.
Yeah, but the fans that I do have, they know me. They don't just like listen to my music. I've talked to them like I'm talking to you now, and they know me personally. And because of that, we have, like a connection. and these people are very loyal to me, and I love them for that, and because I think loyalty is a kind of a lost characteristic trait in the world today. I think a lot of people would stab you in the back if they had the chance, and if you can find people who will stick by your side, like my fiance, when I injured myself, I was in a electrical union at that time, doing power line construction, and I lost my CDL. I lost my union ticket. I pretty much lost everything. And, she stuck with me through every single second of it. And, we have a good relationship, and I'm grateful that, my daughter is, she is going to be the mother of my daughter. I'm grateful for that, because she's a very kind-hearted and just loyal and good human being, and it's not like things are just like always, nothing's ever perfect in any relationship. You're always going to have your, tit for tats with any relationship, but it's beyond worth, going through that with this person. It's a beautiful thing, man. Love's a beautiful thing.
Let's to have somebody like that in your life, just it takes so much pressure off of you. Like when you're trying to do something and you have that base behind you, you have that person that you can count on no matter what. No, I totally get what you're saying. It allows you to actually move forward in a comfortable way, I guess is what I'm saying, because you do have those people out there that are going to take advantage of you. They're going to dangle that golden carrot in front of your face. Mm-hmm. And as soon as they see something that's going to benefit them, they're going to throw you to the wolves. But you have one person in your life that you can always count on. So
exactly, it's like a safety net. It's like, and thank God my mother's the same way. My mother's been very, steadfast in my life, always been there for me through. And my mother's seen the ups and downs. My mother saw the chaos. She saw the rehabs, going in and out of jail. And then, the big one at the end where, I ended up serving all that time. And, she's kind of been there through it all and always been there for me. So I'm grateful for that as well.
That's awesome, man. Tell me about this Facebook group, your Scott LaPlante Music. Or Scott, see, I did it again, man. I keep wanting to call you LaPlante. Scott Plant Music. When I saw that, and you have a GoFundMe on there that I think is really, really cool, especially because knowing how much it does take to do this job, to do your job. And tell me a little bit about the girl. I mean, obviously people can join.
That GoFundMe must be pretty old. And I got to the point where I actually stopped doing that because like people were like degrading me for it and, treating me like I was some bum on the side of the road begging for change. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, well, that's really kind of what sparked a fire under my ass to say, you know what, I'm not going to fucking rely on anybody. And I didn't. I started a business, and that business has already brought in, multiple six figures this year, and we're doing pretty damn good. So I'm not concerned. I mean, obviously the help would be great, but I don't need it. I can do this by myself, and I will. And like I said, my goal, my plan is to continue to be successful in business so as that by this time next year, I don't need a fucking record label to buy me a tour bus. I don't need them to set me up. I can buy my own tour bus, and then it's just a matter of getting myself on a tour, and I'm not willing to bet it's easy to do that, but I'm not willing to bet it's that hard either.
Well, if you have charting music, I don't think it would be a stretch of any imagination to think that you couldn't get on a tour someplace.
Exactly. And the thing is if I do it, I really want to, you know, I kind of want to skip over the whole, days of, because when I was in my early 20s, you got the tour bus and you're stuffing all your gear in the freaking trailer and you're all freaking scrunched into the bus and all that. And, I want to skip over that step. Like if we're going to do this, when my baby is, strong enough to come along with us and we can experience that as a family, then I'd like to do it in a tour bus that I paid for myself.
And actually be comfortable instead of like one of those little shuttle bus things like you're talking about. Yeah,
exactly. All stretched out, everybody on a friggin', everybody on a bench seat.
Yeah, those planks. Yeah. I know, I totally get it, man. Let's see. We talked about that, your Facebook group, but you also these live acoustic shows that you offer. Yeah, I thought that was kind of cool that you offer them free to centers and things.
Yeah, so I did that for actually I haven't done one in a while since my injury, but for years, probably about 5 years, I did them. So I did my paid gigs that I would do at bars and restaurants and things like that, and then I don't know, a lot of people reached out to me and asked if I would, come out and perform to help raise money. And I just, I just felt in my heart, it was kind of my way of kind of making up for, the things I had done wrong and kind of putting some good karma back into existence and balancing out the scales. And then I learned that, so another thing that I do is people who have lost loved ones, for whatever reason, I sit down and I do music therapy with them. So I'll take my acoustic guitar and I'll sit down with them and they'll express to me, the experience that they had or, the situation that happened. And then I will immediately, I think that's probably what the universe's gift was for me, was to be able to do that really fast. Is I can write music, I can connect emotionally, and I can write music really, really fast. Actually, when it comes out of me fast, when I feel like, hold on, I got to get rid of this. Okay, spam was calling me.
Oh.
Well, I feel like when it's coming out of me like that is actually, it's almost like it's not even me doing it. It's like a typewriter just kind of typing itself out. But, I sit down with these families and I write them a song. And then after I write the song, I always give them the option that they can either keep the recording that I give to them, or I perform it for them live at first. And then I'll make a recording and I'll give it to them. And then they have a choice. If they want to, we can have it recorded and released, because a lot of people want to keep the spirit of their loved ones alive, so I have music like Sky's song is about an 11-year-old girl who took her own life. That song's released on Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. And yeah, man, it's been a pretty wild ride for me the last 6-7 years. I mean, I've just done a lot. I've done a lot of, and I've gone through a lot, especially when, like, at one point I had doctors telling me I had like a brain disease that was going to like kill me in like a matter of, I don't know, years, said I might have CTE, and then they thought like I might have some kind of traumatic brain injury. And I saw, a handful of different neurologists that never really gave me any clear answers. It was just always this, and this.
Okay, what did they attribute that to?
Just lesions on my brain, but I think it was just damage from just years of just really abusing myself. Is really all it
Okay.
was.
All
But
right.
what it was doing is it was causing a lot of issues in my body, like these tremors and things like that. And because I've been so consistent with the fitness, because I've been consistent now with the ice baths, because I, try to focus on dieting and things like that, I've been able to take those things and make it so they don't affect my life. I mean, do I have things to improve on? Absolutely. Most certainly. On
Well, we
all
all
levels.
do.
Exactly.
Everyone does. You're
Exactly.
never perfect.
No, by any means. And there's still a long ways for me to go, but I'm proud of the length that I've made it to. I am. I'm proud to be where I'm at. I'm happy to be where I'm at, and I feel good about everything. And I even feel a lot more optimistic about music. Hold on, we got some more spam calling me.
So you blink every time something pops up. It doesn't show up on the screen or anything, but the
Well,
screen like kind of glitches out for a second.
yeah, well, because of my business and my telephone number being on the internet, I get like bombarded with phone calls every day now.
Oh, that's okay. All right. That makes sense. You have your phone on the internet. That's crazy thinking about it to me. It's like
Yeah,
I guess I do have the one on my email signature, but I only email artists and record reps with that email. So I don't care if they call me, but I'm not going to put my number up on Facebook or anything like that.
I
That's
know, but I got to, if I want to get those jobs, I gotta keep it out there, and I'm praying for the right phone calls. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Um,
yeah. That's you really do make yourself available, man. It's like I saw that like after I get a hold of Eric at Major Label Entertainment to get me in touch with you. And I looked and I saw, man, I could have just emailed you myself.
yeah, no, I'm definitely an easy guy to get a hold of.
I
That's
see that.
I don't know if that's gonna always be a good thing.
So, well, uh, it's going to depend like what stage of your career you're at, because
Yeah,
when you
exactly.
get when you get up there now, you're not going to want to have 400,000 or 500,000 people a day calling you.
No, no, absolutely not.
So
But
oh, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say, if it gets to that point, we'll see what happens. What I'm doing is I am enjoying the process. The recording of this album is fun for me. I can't wait to shoot the music video on the 17th with Wild Thorn Productions, and my producer Sergio Salvucci. He's just he's the guy behind the curtain. And if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to take, because I just hire musicians to play the full band stuff.
Okay.
Um, I don't have any set band members that are guaranteed like to show up every night. I
Okay.
hire musicians, so it's just me and him. We're the ones that are creating all of this stuff. Like when it was burner time, it was just
Mm-hmm.
me. It was just me and Jr.
Okay.
And we just kind of went back and forth through video chats, and I played the opening guitar riff, and it got him sparked up. And then he wrote the riff that goes out into the verse, and then I ended up writing the lead for the verse, and then he wrote this freaking epic chorus. And it's just, we played off of each other, and I love that part. Like, writing music is my favorite part of the whole entire process. Like, the whole social media game, I'm not a big fan of it. I'm just not. Like, I don't know. I
You
know
know, you nor
I
me,
have.
man.
What's that?
I said you or nor me. I don't. It's big. it's becoming annoying. It was the whole social media thing was kind of a cool thing like 5-6 years ago when things were actually more open than they are now, if that makes sense, where like you could get your organic views, you could get your stuff out to people. Now you have to pay for things like that.
And you got to pay a lot too.
I actually our flagship radio station actually got the the now playing tweet bot shut down by Twitter. Now playing so and so, such song, and then would post the picture. It actually got shut down by Twitter, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then 2 of our affiliates got shut down by Twitter, and then I looked into it. Elon Musk, after he bought it, he appointed this other. I can't remember her name, but she was somebody else that worked in the like social media sector. And anyway, they're trying to get rid of some bots, but yet I still have all the like thirst traps and spam bots, and I have all these pictures of naked Ukrainian chicks, and I'm like, okay, but my stuff that says now playing like whatever song by whatever artist, that isn't. And with Twitter, you can actually like that actually gets out the artists, so they know you're playing your stuff. Well, I had to go to Facebook.
Actually, I don't even think I have a Twitter. I don't know if I ever created one, to be honest with you. I haven't even gone on there.
We were gonna talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, I think you have a Facebook and you have a YouTube, don't you?
Yeah, I have a YouTube channel, I have an Instagram, and I made a TikTok too.
Okay, you did. You're on everything but Twitter, and I don't know. Like I've taken all my stuff and I moved it back to Facebook. I had originally deleted my Facebook. I mean, actually wiped it all out. I thought,
I'm kind of tapped out from Facebook. Be honest with you, I'm sick of Facebook, just with all the censorship and everything that goes on with it. I don't agree with it. I don't agree with all the censoring.
One thing I don't like is like I moved all my now playing stuff over there, and but no one can see it unless they actually follow the station. And I'm not one of those people that like I'm not a brand whore, if I can say that. I'm not one of those people that's constantly on social media and like me, like this, follow me here, follow me here. I mean, our YouTube channel, I think we have like 36 subscribers. That's because I don't care. I don't tell people subscribe, whatever. The stuff is up there for free for people.
Such a game though. That's like people always ask me, they're like, why is your Spotify so low? And I'm like, it's because I've never ran a single ad. I've never even posted a Spotify link. I haven't. And I know that's kind of stupid on my part because Spotify is probably the biggest, like digital distribution, streaming platform there is. And if I was maybe a little bit smarter, I'd probably invest a little bit of time and money into it. But I get tired of doing all the little things. I really, truly do. I really just want to create music and play it for people. That's all I want to do. I'm an artist. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? I don't want to do all the other bullshit.
No, I totally get it. Like, yeah, you don't want to spend like hours and hours. I mean, if you just take this video that we're doing right now.
Did you freeze up on me?
Oh,
hello.
There you go. Ah, frozen. Oh, let's see. It says that now our internet connection is unstable. Okay. I don't know.
I can see you just fine now. And I just looked at my Wi-Fi is good. So
now we're back to white bars again. So we're cool.
All right,
now, what I was going to say, like, take this video that we're doing right now. like I told you, like it'll be like on the show, but then later on I'll trim it full and upload it to YouTube for everyone to see, for your fans to see.
Yeah.
And just that video alone, let's see, there's a different like IP rate, different size, different like for for the video itself, for any thumbnails, for anything that I post. If I'm going to do it on Instagram, I got to set it one way. If I'm going to do it on Facebook, I got to set it another way. If I'm going to do it on YouTube, I got to set it another way. It's like, so it can take hours on just one video. It's just getting to be too much. Well, stop bitching about that.
Yeah, it's frustrating and it's just annoying. I kind of miss the days where it was, I mean, where secondary radio wasn't secondary radio. It was mainstream radio.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know exactly. Well, I started in radio in '88, and that was right on. That was right on. Yeah, that was right on the end of the jocks actually being able to pick their music and play their music and program their shows. Yeah. And then I came into work one day, and there was a recipe card box in the studio. I was like, what the hell is this? The program director had changed everything, moved it into categories. So all of a sudden I had A's, B's, C's, D's, and I was like, okay. And he's like, so at this time you have to play an A, at this time you have to play B. There was still a little bit of our own flavor in there. There was still a little bit, listeners could hear like one jock on the air and they would play certain like style of that rock. Hear another jock, they would play certain style of their rock. But then I came into the studio one day and there was new automation.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the hell is this? And it's like
not only that too, but like take into consideration CDs. Like let's take an artist, like for some reason Alanis Morissette just kind of popped into my head because she was so huge when she came out. Just take somebody like that. They released their album, physical CDs, and sold millions upon millions of copies of that CD. And they took in money, a significant amount of money off of CD sales. Streaming sales, I mean, I might as well put that in a penny jar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, that's what I've had people like tell me that about the streaming. They gotta be so high to even get like $10-15 sometimes. It's,
I mean, some people pull it off because they have these really vast amount of numbers.
Yeah, but they're still only making a couple grand like per million streams or whatever.
They're not making a living. They have to tour to make a living.
Yeah. And it's not, I don't know. It's just not, I guess I don't think fair is the right word, but it's just not, in my view, the right way to do things. It almost feels like people are being taken advantage of.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be upset if that way of distributing music just tanked. I wouldn't. And it went back to a more kind of, hands-on style of distributing music.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and people don't even want CDs anymore. That's how prevalent streaming has gotten. Like, I
think the only people that really want your CDs, because when I did my first EP, I sold CDs and I sold quite a few. And it was just the diehard people that really believed in me, really followed me, that just wanted that signed copy of a CD just to have it. They weren't going to stick it in a CD player and play it, even though some of them did, because some of them told me. I mean, I have a fan from Germany who literally just said like a week ago that he was going through some stuff in his life, and he had said that he had put his CD in the CD player in Germany, which is pretty cool. And that, the music had kind of helped get him through, which, obviously makes me feel really good, because that's like one of the major reasons why I, play music, because I want to connect with people,
And he actually, because there are people that don't even have any way to play him anymore. So
No, I don't have a player.
I do all these concerts and festivals and that, and it used to be where, I would show up and within like 10 minutes, like I give away a lot of product, a lot of shirts, and along with them CDs. And it would be like CDs were the things that would go the fastest. Within 10 minutes, they'd all be gone. I can't give them away. I mean, it's like, well, essentially that's all I'm doing is give them away. I don't sell the stuff, but yeah, it's like, oh, well, I don't have any way to play that.
But that's really too bad though, because bands used to really be able to make, money off of that. And the fact that they can't anymore is pretty discouraging. Like, I'm not sure if this is 100% accurate because I saw it online and I don't trust everything I see online, but it said something about, the band Skillet, of course.
Yeah.
Well, they're a very popular hard rock band. They do really well for themselves, do big tours, play big shows. They're awesome live. I've seen them live. It said that they made $36,000 in a year off of streaming. That's it.
Yeah.
So for a big band like that, to only make that minuscule of an amount of money off of streaming is like, what's the point?
No, I believe it. It's like, I've had, I don't know how many artists on every week. I have artists on here, and I've had some really big artists like say, well, I just got my Spotify check in. I haven't opened the envelope yet, but what the hell? Where are you at? Maybe I can buy you breakfast.
Yes. Exactly. That's basically when I get my deposit from CD Baby or DistroKid. That's what it is. I might as well just run down to the gas station and buy a couple candy bars.
And one thing I never understood years ago, like it was around 2004, 2005, one of the stations I was working at got download cards for some
I had
band
those for a while.
Okay, you had them also. Why aren't those being used instead of CDs?
Yeah, no, I think that's cool. I think that's like an
I thought,
version.
I thought it was going to be a thing where all of a sudden that's what we would start using instead of giving out CDs. I would get product because I get product from all my record reps. And I thought they would start giving me these things instead of CDs, and they're not. But like I said, people don't want the CDs. So it's like, hell, in my car right now, on the floor of my car, I think I have like 3 boxes of CDs.
Well, it's tough for an up and coming artist too, because you have to save basically every penny of your life just to create a single and hope that single catches. And if the single catches, you got to hope somebody backs you to create an album, or you got to move on to the next single. I mean, I did pretty well on my singles and my releases. I got, we got up to like 200 and something thousand views on this song Destiny I did with, he does punk rock music, but he also raps, and he's actually really good at rapping. His name's Raggedy Andy. But we did a song called Destiny, and, that one's like, it's partially rock. It's got some electric guitars in it, but it's, I don't want to call it electric because it's not electronic. It's kind of its own thing. You'd have to listen. You'd have to listen to it to hear it, but it's a really good song. And that song got up to like 200 and something thousand views on Facebook with a lot of likes. So that one got a lot of backing, and but for that one, I was actually really smart. So I didn't have the money for marketing, so I had an idea. I reached out to a bunch of local businesses that I knew and said, hey, if you chip in a small amount of money towards the marketing of this video, I'll create a commercial at the end promoting all the businesses. So I got 10 businesses to chip in just a little bit of money that gave me just enough money to make the marketing, so as that I had money to push my song.
That's a good idea. So
Yeah, I found a way to make it happen, man. You got to find a
yeah,
way to make it happen. You can't just roll over and die and just say it's not going to happen. Or you can't do the poor me thing and be like, oh, I'll never catch a break. I'll never catch a. If you believe you'll never catch a break, then guess what? You're never going to catch a
it's never
break.
gonna happen.
Yeah, man. The power of belief is the most powerful thing in the world. It is what you believe will manifest itself in your life in some way, some form. It might not be exactly how you envisioned it, but if you genuinely, wholeheartedly believe it and you feel it, I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Okay. All
And
right.
since I and since I was a kid, since I was a small child, I saw myself singing for a large crowd of people. Like I've always wanted to sing at like for some reason O2 Arena really
Okay.
drives me. I would really love to perform at the O2 Arena. Um, and if I had to think of like the biggest dream I could dream, it would be so Lincoln Park is probably my most influential band of all time, and Chester Bennington was just a huge part of my singing growing up and the music that I loved. And because I was a part of like the new metal era, so like I really loved all
Okay.
the bands. And if I had to dream the biggest dream, it would be to sing a Linkin Park song in an arena with the remaining members of Linkin Park. That would be the biggest dream I could dream as a musician.
Okay. Well, I'll send you good vibes.
I appreciate that.
And it's you can get there. I have faith, man. Yeah, kind of kicking ass. This song is kicking ass. Website. I was not able to find one for you. Is there one out there yet?
No, I don't have I did years ago. I had somebody kind of whip up a kind of half-ass one, but I actually
Okay.
have a marketing company that runs my website for my business now. So I would actually be able to have them create an actual website for my music now. But I want to wait until there is like some structure, possibly some tour dates, just content. Right now, while I have the
Okay.
music, which is great, it'd be good to have the music up on a website. But you also have to promote the website too. So right now,
Yeah.
I'm pushing. I'm gonna push 3 singles and then release the album. So I'm releasing Burner. The next one is a very motivational, like heavy rock song, but it's got a very positive vibe to it. You'll hear it
Okay.
because I sent it over to
I'll
you.
go check it out. I'm sure it's in my email right now, and I I haven't gotten to it. Like I told you before, man. I'm running a little bit behind today.
Yeah, it's all no, you're gonna love it. Trust me. This song is I've been playing this song for like the last I don't even know month and a half since it's been done. And I just literally once a day I just throw it on because I love the song. I love
This
the song so much.
okay.
And then the third single that we'll push before the release of the album is going to be like a ballad. It's going to be a softer song.
Okay. All right. And then then that's the plan. And then after that, you're thinking like website, merch store, things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Then I got to start taking that stuff a little bit more seriously so I can actually start creating a revenue to recycle, um, you know, revenue really to recycle and continue to grow and evolve and stuff like that. And like I said, I'm going to use my success in business to fund. It's funny is the last few construction companies that I did like project management for, I tried to get my boss to back my music. And they were always like, yeah, you sound great, you're amazing, I believe in you. And then they never did it. They never followed through. And they always just kind of said that to my face and never did it. So
Yeah.
I started my own construction company, and now I'm actually their competition, and now I'm funding myself, and that feels pretty damn good.
And now they're kicking themselves in the ass.
Or they will.
Dude, I know there are people out there that want like merch and that from you, and I don't want to see you lose your momentum at all. So definitely stick with that plan, man. I really, that is, if I had any advice.
For a little bit.
What's
so
that?
I did merch for a little bit. So I have a slightly heavier song called Never Take Me Alive. And
okay.
I created t-shirts that said "You'll never take me alive" because I thought that was just a really good slogan for somebody who's like, ready to tough out life and just not quit at absolutely anything. You'll never take me alive. It's just like a battle cry.
So you are thinking in that vein then. So you will have you have stuff in your head ready to be made and ready to go out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay. All right, cool. Scott Plante, so thankful that you were here, man. And now all these listeners, who I like to call my big balls of awesome, because each and every one of them is a ball of awesome. Now they know who Scott Plante is, and we are gonna push the hell out of your tune, man. This is
I appreciate that, and to all of your fans that took the time to watch this and to get to know me. I'm a very loyal person, and when you show me that love, just know that love's going back to you. And I appreciate you guys taking the time to get to know who I am as a person, getting the time to listen to my song, help it, keep rising on these secondary rock charts, because, it's doing well. And, every single artist that you see in that chart has a label behind them, a label on everyone. I am the only name that you'll see at the top of that list that says independent. And that makes me feel pretty damn good.
And that is too, you own all your music, you own your image, you're all of it. Nobody owns you. That's the cool thing about it. That's the cool thing about being an independent artist. Scott Plante, the song is Burner. Thank you so much for being here, man. Burner is right here, right now on Real Rock Nights.
Click the latest video right here, right now. And don't forget to like and subscribe.